guys, welcome to the channel. It's Boa and I appreciate that you're here with me today. Guys, I don't remember the last time I've had to do this to the car key and also have to use it to start the car. And hey, Kia, I don't know why you did that, but hey, guys, this is the Sonet LX in automatic. And hey, I don't think they've ruined it. I don't think so, because they've managed to modernize it and keep up with the current designs. You'll see by these sweeping lines here that actually is the new one. And when you go to the rear as well, you'll see that now it has a full light bar. But this one, because it's the lower spec, these are actually reflectors. They are not necessarily the actual LEDs. And you get that the more you go up to EX Plus and so on, then you will get like the LEDs, and I think they look quite cool. As well, the lights, I wish they were LED, but here they are light bulbs, normal ones. So yeah, you'll get used to that. But hey, you know what? I think this is the entry level, because back in the day, you know, when we started with hatches and so on, now life has changed because a lot of people are starting with small SUVs like this, and this is what we regard as the entry level. So with that, I can't really blame them that much for that. And I think, you know what, you know how we do it here. I'm starting to talk a lot, and I think let's just hit the road. We'll talk more about it on the road. Let's do it. In a market that is oversaturated, that is loyal to nobody, except a few, of course, but a lot of consumers are actually loyal to the pricing when it comes to this market, because it's very competitive. I mean, you get options to actually go to the next dealership, go to the next brand, and you will find something around sub 4 meters, around 4.1, 4.2 meters in length, like this car. So you start asking yourself, but how can one differentiate themselves from the others when there's just so many cars out there that people can choose from? And I think that's probably some manufacturer struggles every day, trying to understand what can we offer, what can we not. Because Kia, I know what you offer, but some consumers don't know. And the fact that at this price point, this car, this is the LX CVT, and it's coming in at around 391,000 rands. And I'm asking myself, does it justify that? Looking at, hey, let me think this properly. Especially when I'm looking at what's on offer for this Sonet, actually. Guys, it starts at 366,000. That's what you're going to pay for the only manual variant that you're getting, the 1.5 liter manual variant. And this one, as I said, is 391 CVT. I'll talk to this CVT in a few minutes. And then you get the CVT EX that is crossing the 410,000 mark at around 412,000. Then DCT 1.0 EX, that is the turbocharged one. That's the one you want. It's around 437,000 rands. Then the CVT EX, coming again with this engine and CVT pairing as well, it's going to cost you around 455,000, and then it tops up at SX variant CVT, same engine as well, coming in at around 485,000. So the engine that is in here, natural aspirated 1.5, it is not about performance or anything like that. It's going to give you around 85 kilowatts and 144 Newton meters of torque. So that's what you're getting with this engine. And that's exactly why I keep asking myself, what is it that you're going to do as a manufacturer to differentiate yourself from everyone else, especially with what's on offer? Because when you're looking at the competition, hey, let me not start there, because I might scare you off a bit. Look, here's the thing. This car, what I think is its competitive advantage, before I talk about the competition itself, is the CVT pairing to this engine, because if you've watched some of my Suzuki reviews, this is something that I said, that look, if you're going to have an engine that doesn't have so much power, that is not turbocharged, you have to find a way to actually make the transmission work with you. Because if you find that maybe the gearing ratio is so short, like I experienced in the Baleno, and I'm pretty sure if it's the same with the Fronks, that's something that you're going to experience as well. So I feel like Kia did so well. The CVT is just so great when you're driving every day like this, where you don't need like a lot of power. You just literally just doing your daily run arounds. You go to work, you come back. You don't need to be driving fast or anything like that. That's where I feel like it works. It works so well, and I can't even complain about the way it drives because it's so comfortable. I didn't check the suspension in this case, but I do believe that it is torsion beam at the back, and the way it feels right now, it's not bumpy, it's not too spam or anything like that. It's literally just spot on for a car of this size, and that's something that I applaud them for. And that's why I see the competitive advantage when it comes to this car, because it drives so well, it feels so comfortable. It's not an entry level in this case, and that's something that I've experienced with Kias. If you've watched my Kia reviews, you'd know that I mentioned this before, that there's this feeling that you're getting when you get inside the Kia that I don't experience with each and every car. You can't fake quality. That's the thing. You can't fake quality, and something that Kia is. Actually, that's where I feel like they do have a competitive advantage, because when I'm looking at this car overall from outside, from the design perspective, you can see what they're trying to achieve. You can see what they're trying to do, because it looks slick with this new change in design that they've done. They've modernized it so well. Inside, I'm not seeing a lot of changes, but what they've done as well, I'm looking at that, the integration of the piano black and the graphics, it works so well. It looks so amazing. I love Kia for that. And overall, the way it feels as well, the seat as well, the design and everything else, I can't complain about that. You've seen the Sonet before. We've driven it on the channel before. Back in 2021, we've driven the Sonet, and we couldn't even complain much about it. Only the power is something that at the time, of course, one would complain about. But when you think about the fact that they're not necessarily trying to achieve that kind of a thing with this car, you try to forgive them for that as well. But I spoke about the competition, because that is where then things are going to get tough now. And I think, you know what, let's go to the open road and talk a little bit more about that. See, out here is different. There's a lot to consider. There's things to think about, and you start asking yourself if I made the right choice. And that's something that for me, I think then knocks into your head to just try and say, you know what, maybe the competition is somewhere that I need to look at, because that's where you start to realize that the engine needs a lot more push than than necessary, because it's natural aspirated. It's not a big engine. For sure, you're going to feel that lag, especially if you start putting more people in the car, putting bags, and if you have kids and so on, then you'll realize that there are shortcomings to this engine. It's not necessarily the quickest, and it does scream when you require it to actually perform much more. You do have those doubts when you have to overtake and so on, because you can imagine that every time when you're traveling on the highway and so on, there will be instances where you're meeting the trucks, you're doing this, you're doing that, and you really want to overtake and that's not this car. It's not for that. When you find a hill, just respect everyone who wants to pass on the right, because you need to keep left. It's not that quick. Yes, it's not like it's the slowest thing out there, because I've seen or driven cars that are like way below 70 kilowatts. But because this is an SUV, you likely going to have people inside the car, and that's where you're going to feel the shortcomings of this car. That's why I'm saying that competition is knocking now. It's busy knocking, because for every negative that you experience, you start thinking, maybe I should have bought this and that. Maybe I should have done this. Because, for example, you do not get cruise control in here. When I'm looking at the safety as well, you're only getting 2 airbags. On this variant, to get 6 airbags, you have to pay way higher than 400,000 in this case. So you start asking yourself that, did I make the right choice? Because those things matter. Really, they do. I understand everything else that, you're looking at it. It's a Kia. It's a car that is reliable. This car is definitely made to last, and it's probably going to outlast some of the competition out there. But right now, we are in a different world altogether. And when I drove this car back in 2021, I was saying to myself that, you know what, Kia still has that name that I can say they've built it up. We've seen them building it up, and now I understand why they would have priced the car to a certain point, right? But right now, this is 2024, and there's just so much to consider. Honestly, there's so much to consider because you are in that Kia dealership. There's Hyundai next to you, which, yeah, I'm going down now, and I can feel that, you know what, the wind noise is really coming in when I'm pulling that overtake. But hey, you know what, I don't think this car is for that. Otherwise, you get into that Kia dealership, like I said, and is probably going to be there. Reynolds is probably going to be there with the Kaiga as well. I don't know how much a Kaiga is in terms of the competition-wise and everything else, because I don't think it's selling that much. And you go down the road, you're going to find the Nissan Magnite, which, by the way, it's a surprise one, because when you look at the half-year sales, it actually outsold your Haval Jolion, actually. And I didn't see that one coming. And talking about Haval Jolion, which is bigger, and you have some variants to worry about, which are priced below or just around the 390, 350 mark. And you start asking yourself, but can I do this? Can I really pick up this Kia? Especially when I'm looking at the Starlet Cross, which is starting at around 299,000 all the way to 360. And I'm looking at the Fronx as well, which is playing around that as well, because it's a little bit cheaper at 297 to around 355. And if I was to go back to that Magnite, it's even starting below 240,000 actually, and it's topping at around 377,000, and it has a turbocharged engine with 74 kilowatts. I'm starting to ask myself, okay, there's stuff to consider. And I think the most threat that this car has is the Tiggo 4 Pro, because that car sells like crazy. It sells like crazy, and you start as low as 280,000 rands for that car, all the way to 415,900. And when I'm talking about that 415,000, I'm talking about a lot of spec. I'm talking about spec that has sunroofs. I'm talking about a DCT that you are getting in it. And if you don't even want a DCT, you're going to get a CVT in that car. You're going to pay way less at around 386,000, which is below this car. And you start looking at the spec level in that car, from leather seats to everything else. You start asking yourself if you are making the right decision. I have to be honest here, Kia, that's going to be a little bit difficult. I agree that currently this is one of the best-selling Kia cars, because when I'm looking at the stats as well, actually this car is selling so well, and I applaud Kia for that, because like I said, there is still that competitive edge that Kia gets. But when I'm looking at, I think cars.co.za, they did like a half-year sales kind of thing that they've done there, and when I'm looking at it, actually the Sonet sold almost 3,000 cars just in the first half. So that's why I'm saying I applaud Kia for that, because it does sell. But you need to remember that for every day that we're here, we are seeing a brand that is just coming in from China, bringing more cars and so on, and they are coming with a lot of spec. Some of them are coming to directly compete with this car, and that's why I feel like, you know what, it's gonna be a little bit tough going forward, because there's just so many cars that are out there that are great as well. People are no longer questioning whether Chinese cars are not quality or anything like that. People are just looking at them and just saying that, you know what, I'm gonna get this. Whether it's a brand new car, a brand that just came in, or what, people are buying these days. So the market has changed, and I think what's on offer here, honestly, at 391,000, it does fall short. It does really fall short, and yeah, I think Kia needs to consider that. Overall though, I think that Kia has a very good product. That's something that I will never shy away from, because every time I drive a Kia, I do get a sense that, you know what, the competitive edge is definitely the quality when it comes to Kia. It's rare that you'll find a Kia that has issues and people are complaining about the panels and anything like that. You can feel that it is very solid, way more solid actually to some of the most expensive cars that we've driven on the channel. I have to tell you that. Did you hear that? That's why I told you that this is not for that. This is definitely not for that. But hey, I want to close off this video by just talking about the fuel consumption probably and practicality. I'm pretty happy with the space in this car and everything else that it offers. It does have quality materials in the interior. I do actually enjoy being in this space. As much as the drive itself, I can't really say it's the best thing, but at the same time I think they've done a great job when it comes to just the material use and everything else for an entry-level car. And the boot space as well, it's quite sufficient. It's just standard boot space for what you'll find in this kind of cars, or rather size in this case. And this particular one, I'm not going to talk about whether it has Android Auto CarPlay. You can see it up there, and I think you can do it as well wirelessly as well when it comes to Android Auto. I don't know about CarPlay. Then you do get a 6-speaker sound system, and again, when this sound system is playing like low a bit, you do get that good feedback from the speakers and the way that it balances the sound. I do love it. I think I can do some traveling in it as well. It does bring that comfort as well, besides the drive, as I said right now. And what I will do right now is to close off with the sound system test. And thank you so much for being here with me today. I really appreciate it. Till the next one, I am out.